Hello students. So we have studied about the basic graphical properties of motion, and now today we will discuss about the equations of motion. So our target of today is equations of motion, the mathematical proof. First thing we need to understand what is the meaning of equations of motion. So let me tell you, we have collected the information about initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, displacement and time. Equations of motion are just mathematical relations between u, v, a, s and t. Means equations of motion, they basically provide a relation, mathematical relation between initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, displacement and time. So we can say equations of motion are basically, these are relations, and which kind of relation? Mathematical. We should write. These are mathematical relations between u, v, a, s and t. So these mathematical relations are simply called equations of motion. Basically there are total 4 equations of motion, but according to syllabus we need to study only about 3 equations of motion. Fourth equation of motion is you will study about this in class 11. It is about the distance traveled or the displacement taken by a body in a particular moment of time. Means in nth second. Means in a particular second. Means how much the body has traveled in 4th second, 5th second. Means a fraction of time. So we are not considering that equation of motion in your syllabus. Right now there are only 3 equations of motion in your syllabus according to the availability of the required information. If we are talking about initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration and time only, the relation, the first mathematical relation is v equals to u plus at. This is called first equation of motion. If we are talking about second equation of motion, it is about the relation between initial velocity, displacement, acceleration and time. So we are having only these 4 variables. At that time displacement equals to ut plus half at square. And the third equation of motion provides a relation between initial velocity u, final velocity v, acceleration and displacement, not the time. So third equation of motion is v square equals to u square plus 2as. Now please pay attention here. These equations of motion are considered when acceleration is positive, means there is an increment in velocity, right? So we need to understand that we are talking about uniform accelerated motion. Uniform accelerated motion. And after getting this, you will be able to understand that if we are talking about the retardation or retarding motion, negative acceleration, so we need to put negative a. So these equations, this side will become minus, this side will become minus, as well as this side will become minus. And if we are talking about vertical motion, at that time we have to modify these equation of motion. So first thing, we need to understand how to derive these relations. After that, you will get the universal format of equations of motion, right? There are 2 methods to derive these 3 equations of motion. First is analytical or general mathematical method, and the second is with the help of graphs. Graphs between velocity and time, velocity versus time graph. With that graph we can calculate these 3 equations of motion. So I will go through first mathematical method, that is analytical method also, and then we will move to the graphical method. So let's start from mathematical method. So first, before starting the mathematical method, few information we will require for the method. First thing, the discussion about average speed. I hope you have gone through its definition. Average speed during any motion from one point to another point. Suppose the body is traveling between 2 points A and B, and it travels a particular distance A to C, d1 distance in a particular time, t1 seconds, and then remaining distance d2 in a different time. during its whole journey. So at that time you need to calculate average speed. Just like whenever you travel through between the two places like Khatoli to Muzaffarnagar or Khatoli to Meerut, you are just suppose going through the bike or the scooty. So basically your speed it will not remain constant during the entire journey. Obviously, so on some places you have to brake, deaccelerate your scooty. On some places you will get some kind of an open road, so you can speed up. Sometimes you have to overtake the vehicles. So speed is not constant during the entire journey. So at that time we should say that we are traveling different slots of distances in different time amounts, right? So if someone asks you that so what was your speed, so you'll say my speed was average 60 or 70 km/h. So you are talking about the average. Basically you are not talking about the actual segmented distance or actual segmented time. So you are taking the simple thing very in a simple way, that total distance traveled and the total time taken. You are checking only these two things during the entire journey. You are not focusing over the slots, right? So basically whenever we talk about average speed, means we are talking about the entire journey traveled, entire distance traveled with respect to time. So it means average speed's general formula, you can write it like this: average speed equals to total distance traveled upon total time taken during the journey, right? Or you can write it d1 plus d2 in this case upon total time taken t1 plus t2. So this is the generalized formula for average speed. Now if we are talking about body was having initial velocity as u and final velocity as v during the motion, means in vector form initial velocity is u and final velocity is v. So at that time we need to discuss about average velocity. Average velocity can be written as v average. So v average is simple. If you are having initial velocity and final velocity, so you need to find out average of them. So general average of two numbers, u plus v by 2. So this is the basic thing. And the meaning of average velocity, the meaning of average speed, SI unit will remain same, meter per second, it doesn't matter. Now one question exists here, that is there any possibility so that the average speed and the average velocity they become equal? Yes, absolutely. When displacement and distance they become equal in the linear motion. In linear non-returning motion, at that time distance and displacement will be same. So obviously average speed and average velocity will become equal at that moment. So you can say for linear non-returning motion, linear non-returning motion, at that moment you can say the average speed means the entire journey has been traveled during one slot, not the fractions. So at that time total distance traveled, the average speed will become equal to average velocity. We are going to use this relation during the equations of motion. Okay, so you need to focus over these two major points. Now let's talk about equation of motion by taking an example of uniform accelerated motion. Keep this thing in your mind. We are talking about uniform accelerated motion, means there is an acceleration in the body and this acceleration is constant during the journey. Acceleration is not variable. If we are talking about a varying acceleration, this technique will get failed. At that time you need some kind of a higher concept of mathematics which is called calculus method, and you will study this in 11th class. So right now we are just focusing over uniform accelerated motion. So suppose a body is traveling initially with velocity u. It gains an acceleration a, due to which its velocity becomes v in t seconds, right? And it has traveled a displacement of s meter during this whole journey. So we are talking about a rectilinear motion, or because this type of motion is also called rectilinear motion. So we are talking about a linear motion and road non-returning. So obviously at that time this is the displacement as well as this is the distance traveled, right? So we are going to use this. So let's talk about the first equation of motion. We know it very well. Acceleration, the standard definition of acceleration. The rate of change in velocity is called acceleration. We know it. Acceleration A is change in velocity upon time. We know it very well. Okay. For the theory, means what we have assumed and everything, it is also written in your books, but right now we are not focusing on the theoretical approach. Means what I have said already, that we are assuming a body is traveling with initial velocity u, final velocity v. We have discussed it already. So we know it very well. Acceleration is change in velocity with respect to time, and change in velocity is final velocity minus initial velocity. So v minus u upon t. We can write it. Delta v can be written as v minus u. Or scientifically multiply, so you will get v minus u equals to a into t, or v equals to u plus at, which was the first and which is the first equation of motion. So this is the first equation of motion, and we have derived it simple by mathematical techniques, right? We are not using graphs right now. So keep this thing in your mind. This is the way to derive first equation of motion. Now let's talk about the second equation of motion. And for the second equation of motion, this relation will be helpful for you. Okay? Now let's talk about the second equation of motion. For this, we know it very well. For a linear non-returning motion, average speed and average velocity are same. Since average speed, for this example, average speed equals to average velocity. So we can utilize this relation. Average speed is total distance upon total time. Total distance is S simply, and total time is t second. T. And average velocity is u plus v by 2. U plus v by 2. Right? But if you focus on the second equation of motion, as I have discussed it already, second equation of motion is not dependent of final velocity. Means in the second equation of motion there is no v. So we are going to replace v with the help of first equation of motion. We know it very well. We know that v equals to u plus at. It is from first equation of motion. We can say equation first. So we are going to replace it. So you will get u plus, instead of v we are going to write u plus at. U plus at in place of v upon 2. Just cross multiply the things if you want, or keep the 2 as denominator here, send t there. So it will become 2u. So 2ut plus at into t, that is at square, and whole upon 2. Separate the LCM. So you will get 2ut upon 2 plus at square upon 2. You can see it's a similar reverse process simply. Or you can write s equals to 2 to 2 will get cancelled, ut plus half at square. We can write it like this, half at square. So this is the second equation of motion. This is the second equation of motion, which provides a relation between displacement, initial velocity, time and acceleration. Right? And from this relation, let me remind you about the graph. Displacement time graph for uniform accelerated motion. It was looking like this: displacement s or d, time graph. It was looking like this. You can conclude this thing from here, that displacement is directly proportional to t square. It is a square directly proportional relation, for which graph will look like this. That's why I told you that at the time that we will require equation of motion for that. And keep this in your mind. I had used this equation of motion to find out the displacement. So this is the second equation of motion, and now let's talk about third equation of motion. For the third, only a thing we need to change here. Only a thing. In the same comparison, that average speed equals to average velocity for the relation, the third equation of motion, it is not dependent of time, right? In the equation there is no term for time, so we need to replace t. So first let's cross multiply the things. 2s equals to u plus v into t. We can write it like this, and find out the value of t from equation of first equation of motion. From this we can find out the t. T is v minus u upon a. You know it very well. V minus u upon a. That is the value of t. Put the value of t here. So 2s will become u plus v into t. V minus u upon a. Send a here. You'll get 2as equals to, now please check, v minus u, v plus u, a minus b, a plus b. It is a square minus b square formula. So you can write it like this, v square minus u square, or you can write it v square equals to, send u square there, it will become positive, u square plus 2as, which is actually the third equation of motion. 2as is the third equation of motion. So we have derived all three equations of motion with the help of we can say general mathematical interpretation, average speed and average velocity and acceleration. Right? Now we will discuss about the graphical method to derive these three equations of motion. Now let's talk about the graphical method, but we will keep the example as same as the previous. Means uniform accelerated motion, body's initial velocity is u, it is non-zero. The body is assumed to be already in motion. Why? Because we want to create a universal formula. If we take a strict case of rest to motion, so that formula will work only for those conditions in which, or those questions in which the body is initially at rest. So we need to assume that the body is initially in motion. So if you are going to have such kind of problem in which body initially at rest, so simply you have to replace u by 0. So you can modify the formula according to the question, but we need to have universal formula right now. So let's try to plot a graph. So I am talking about a velocity versus time graph. Why? Because that graph will provide you displacement as well as acceleration. We know it very well. We have discussed it already. That the area under VT graph will give you the value of displacement, and the slope of VT graph will give you the value of acceleration. So this is the only graph which will provide you a relation between displacement, velocity, acceleration simultaneously with time. Right? So we are going to use that graph for this particular situation. Let's try to plot a graph between velocity versus time. Time is in seconds, velocity is standard meter per second. Okay, and keep this thing in your mind that velocity initially is not zero for a universal format. Means when the time was zero, t was zero, at that time velocity was having some kind of a value, and when the time is small t, its velocity becomes v. So if I go for this information, so when the time is 0, means at origin x at 0, so velocity is u something, it is having some kind of a value. Let's say this is the point of u, a and b. Let's say point a, you will get here, obviously this distance is u, this length is u in y-axis. Okay, and now in t seconds, means 0 to t, this whole time, in t seconds its velocity becomes v, which is actually greater than u right now because we are having the positive acceleration. So its velocity becomes v, means up to this it is small v, right? So for this intersection point would be, we can draw the intersection point. You will get here, that is the point B. So after joining point A and B, you will get the graph, VT graph for this particular case. This one, right? So we are going to use this graph to find the relation between u, v, a, t and s. So first thing, we need to find out the relation for first equation motion, which was v equals to u plus at. Now keep this in your mind. Which equation, formula provides a relation in the graph I am talking about? In graphs, in VT graph, which relation or which kind of a thing provide you a relation between acceleration velocity? So we know it very well. In VT graph, the slope of graph gives you the value of acceleration. Keep the thing in your mind. Please, you can check your notes even. We have discussed it already that the slope of VT graph gives you the value of acceleration. So I am going to find out its slope, and to find out its slope I have to make it a right angle triangle. So I will simply draw a parallel line to y-axis, x-axis up to this point. Let's say point C and let's call this point D. So So parallel to OD, we have drawn this, and obviously it would be T again. And what do you think? This whole value is V, P to D, and this small value A, O to A is U. So C to D is also U. It is also U. So the remaining distance would be V minus U. Obviously, this whole is V. So you can check. So in this right angle triangle we are talking about, we know that the slope of VT graph gives you the value of acceleration. So we can simply find out this here. So acceleration A would be in triangle BAC. In triangle BAC, acceleration would be the slope. Slope is perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular is BC, and base is AC. So perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular is V minus U, and the base is T. So A is V minus U upon T, or you can write V equals to U plus AT as before, right? So V minus U, A to T, and U will become positive there. So V equals to U plus AT, which is the first equation of motion. So it is simple that we can draw, we can derive the first equation of motion or the equations of motion with the help of mathematical method simply, or with the help of graphs. There is another method also which is called the calculus method, but it is not in your syllabus, and we need to study about the calculus in mathematics. So you will study this method in 11th class if you take science as a stream. So let's get to the point. Now we need to derive the second equation of motion, and if I talk about the second equation of motion, we have to discuss about the displacement. And you may pause the video to copy the content also. So if we want to find out the displacement, so which relation in graphs, VT graph provides a relation for displacement? So it is simple. Area under VT graph gives you the value of displacement. The area line AB, it will give you the value of displacement. We know it very well. Since area under VT graph line or VT graph, it gives you the value of displacement S. So we can use this. So S would be, we need to find out the area. So this is some kind of a trapezium. You can use the trapezium's direct formula, or you can break down into a right angle triangle and this rectangle. So we can say area of triangle BAC plus area of this rectangle OACD. Rectangle OACD. So by adding these two areas, we can calculate the entire area line below this AB line. So S equals to area of triangle BAC, right angle triangle, half into base into height. Half into base is T into height is BC, that is V minus U, plus you can write area of rectangle side into side U into T. So you can simply use U into T. Now in the second equation of motion there is no V. So I am going to replace this term from with the help of first equation of motion. We know it very well. From the first equation of motion, V equals to U plus AT, or you can write V minus U equals to A into T. So I can replace V minus U simply by AT. From first equation or equation first, we can replace V minus U by AT. So S equals to half into T into, in place of V minus U we can write AT plus UT. Now please focus. We can write it like this. S equals to UT first plus half A T into T square. So half A T square, which is second equation of motion. So we have derived the second equation of motion with the help of graph. Second equation of motion. Now even if you want to derive the third equation of motion, only you have to make a little bit adjustment in the same relation. How? In third equation of motion there is no T, so you have to replace T in these relations. You have to replace T for the same relation. You have to replace T in this step, and you have to replace this in this fragment. T is V minus U upon A. So you have to place V minus U upon A here, V minus U upon A here. So you will be able to find out the displacement in terms of, and then you will get the third equation of motion. Or you can use the direct trapezium's area formula. After that even you can get the answer for this. Let me tell you how. For third equation of motion. In the same, let's use the area of this trapezium, OABDO. So the formula of trapezium's area, half into sum of parallel sides. These are two parallel sides. This is U and this whole is V. I am talking about BD completely. So this whole is V. So sum of parallel sides, U plus V into height, that is T. If I am taking these two as parallel sides, it would be height, that is T. And from first equation of motion, you can find out T. T is V minus U upon A. Put it here. From equation first, you can replace this. So S equals to half into sum of parallel sides U plus V into T is V minus U upon A. And now you can understand that 2A there. So 2AS. V minus U, V plus U. So V square minus U square. Or V square equals to U square plus 2AS. So this is the third equation of motion. So finally students, we have derived all these three equations of motion with the help of mathematical method and with the help of graphs. So I hope you will be able to solve the numerical problems related to these equations of motion. Now I am just giving you a little bit hint for your homework, and that is what will happen if we are having a negative acceleration, which means if we are talking about negative acceleration or retardation, if A is negative, so you need to modify these equations of motion. You need to place A as negative, first thing. Second, if we are talking about free fall, I will discuss it later in the next lecture, because first thing you need to modify these equations of motion according to retardation. Okay, and try to solve the few questions related to this. Simple. And do not try to solve the vertical motions, because first we need to understand how to modify the equation of motion according to the we can say influence of gravity in vertical motion. Okay, so thank you, stay safe, stay home.